Hello, everyone. Thank you for stopping by. Let's get into it. Today's hard truth is no matter how people feel about the LGBTQ community, gay people are accepting. And what I mean by that is people that are socially awkward or have emotional struggles, sexual identity issues, they may be rejected by their family, their friends, the church, anybody. But if there's one community that won't reject people, it's the gay community. They're very accepting, and for that reason, a lot of people that um, can't find their place, human beings naturally seek to fit in somewhere. And so if they can't fit in over here, they'll find somewhere else that'll accept them. And for a lot of people, it's the gay community. All right. The reason that I'm talking about this is I want to address some things in this video, in particular, why all of the media reports are pinning Brian KOHBERGER as maybe an incel, but I'm not hearing the possibility of him being gay. Okay, and so this video is addressing the points of gay versus incel, a possible connection between Brian KOHBERGER's sexual identity and his drug addiction. Also, do gay men stalk women? Does BK have a gay significant other, possibly in Moscow? And also, who will testify in KOHBERGER's defense? Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I want to talk about gay versus incel. Okay, on this picture, it's the title of the article is like childhood friends, but in this picture, they don't really look like children to me. They definitely look like teenagers, possibly it's 17, 18 years old. So I don't think that the title of this article should say, suggest that this is a childhood picture because these guys look pretty mature. Okay, these are not kids or adolescents, these are young adults. But anyway, why is there a difference between gay or incel? Well, a guy that doesn't have a girlfriend, a wife, or kids at 28 years old, normally people would accuse them of being gay. But in the media, they've been accusing Brian of being an incel. Why is that? Well, because the gay angle doesn't coincide with him being a stalker. If you think about it, they're painting this picture of somebody that keeps coming to Moscow, looking at these girls through the window, peeping Tom or whatever, and he's going in, somebody's rejected him or pissed him off, and he's going in there and he's just killing everybody. Okay, well, for that to work, he has to be attracted to women. He has to care if a woman rejected him or slighted him, wouldn't go out on a date. Okay, all that fits in with an incel, but it does not fit in for someone that's gay because he wouldn't even be concentrating on a female relationship or trying to take a woman out on a date, is what I'm saying. All right, so let's move on. The connection between drug addiction and sexual identity. On these pictures, you can see that Brian is a little overweight in the first one. In the second picture, you can tell that he's had some struggles with some type of drug problem. And then in the third picture, the most recent picture, he looks good. He looks healthy. He looks focused. He doesn't look anything like the second picture. His weight is great. And so, I mean, these pictures kind of tell a story of his life, the best we're going to get, without some type of a report from him. And so a lot of people who struggle with sexual identity do turn to drugs. And I was just thinking that that fits. If we think of homosexuality instead of incel, the drug addiction fits. Okay, do gay men stalk women? Back to what I was saying, the difference between saying he's an incel and saying that he's a homosexual. Well, do gay men stalk women? Not really. All right, you may say, well, A gay man can have hatred or, you know, bad feelings towards women, and he may have a motive to kill women just like an incel would. Okay, well, looking at the history of gay male serial killers, guys that killed more than one person, typically the serial killer's victims are the same sex. Okay, and so Stephen Port, Wayne Williams, Jeffrey Dahmer, Stuart Bergwall, all of them had male victims because, as far as society is concerned, they were homosexual men. And so I can't imagine any of these guys really peeping into a woman's window or being interested in women or trying to go out on a date with a woman and possibly being rejected by her. I just don't see that for any of them. I do see them stalking playgrounds, schools, um, places that have to do with kids and have to do with young boys, basketball gym. But I don't see them frequenting restaurants and places where women would hang out and they could maybe have an opportunity to talk to them. Okay, so I'm not really seeing that, and that strengthens my argument that there's a big difference between Kohlberger being gay and being an incel. Okay, and there's a reason why we're seeing all these incel theories, but not homosexuality. Okay, from the preliminary hearing perspective, would is it possible that Kohlberger could just say he's gay as part of a rebuff to all of these accusations that he was stalking somebody at King Road? Is it possible that he can have character witnesses or someone that he was dating in Moscow, a guy, come and testify that, hey, this guy was coming to see me, in Moscow. I was going to Pullman to see him. Here's the evidence, blah, blah, blah. That would pretty much blow the stalker theory out of the water. Okay, and so Brian's sexuality matters, and if he was actually dating guys, that really matters. I mean, we can see some pretty weird looking women testifying that they dated him off of apps, but we don't have any testimonies of somebody that dated him long term, like Ted Bundy did. Okay, so is the prosecution headed for a loop? And I'm saying this mainly because we don't have an interrogation tape of the police questioning Brian before his arrest. And that might seem to be at their advantage the way they did it in the beginning, but it's going to hurt in the end because we don't have a way to sit and, turn to our body language panelists and look at their choice of words and the way they're acting in the interrogation room. We don't have any of that to go on to form our own opinions of who Brian Kohlberger is. And so the prosecution could be headed for a loop, but the simple fact that we don't have his side of the story yet. And so whatever he comes out with is going to be brand new. It's not going to be contradicting what he said before. A problem that the prosecution is having, what they said in the beginning, what they said in the probable cause affidavit, and now what they're saying in the search warrant. Okay, they're having that problem, having to line everything up. But everything that comes out from the defense is going to be brand new because we don't have a bunch of words from him. All we have is, I'm hopeful that I'll be exonerated. I'm looking forward to it. That's all we have from him, and that's great as far as defense is concerned. Okay, here are my findings so far. Based on this investigation, it makes perfect sense that a 28-year-old man with no girlfriend or wife or kids could be gay. And Brian Kohlberger is not a bad-looking guy. He has a lot going for him at 28. It takes a lot of discipline and focus to be a PhD student at 28. Pursuing your career with law enforcement. He's focused, and he didn't have a criminal history. Far as we know, he might even have good credit. A lot of women would look at him as a good catch. it might just be that he's not interested in the women that are approaching him. But it's not that he can't get a date, because I know a lot of women that would say a 28-year-old, he's on his third degree, okay, he comes from a pretty decent family. I mean, he can get a date. So if he's gay or he doesn't date women, it's by his choice. You know, maybe his abuse and drug abuse landed him in a different type of social setting, and the homosexual scene is what feels right to him. I don't know. All right. So lastly, since we don't have an interrogation footage tape of Brian Kohlberger to observe his choice of words and his body language, we can only speculate as to who this guy is, because we jump on interrogation tapes regardless of what the body language people say. We form our own opinions based on our own experience and people that act around us, and we gain insight from that, but we don't have that here. So we can only speculate. And so this is part two. If you didn't check out part one, it kind of introduced these ideas. I want to know, what do you think about this? I mean, is the homosexual angle important, possible, redundant, irrelevant, ridiculous, preposterous? What do you think? Make sure to post your comments in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos.